gym and sit in the sauna, 30 minutes, you know, and then go hit the treadmill for 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever it's going to be, you know, for the day. And that right there is just, you're already broken down from the heat you get in the treadmill. You don't want to do it, but it's just mentally breaking your mind down where it's going to make you mentally stronger. There's different ways to make you stronger mentally. That's one of my ways that I learned, and it completely made me a tougher person within me. You know, it's like, all right, however, I don't care how tired I am, as long as I keep my hands up and keep pushing myself to go forward, you're going to make that guy break. You know, and that's how I've done it my whole life.
When I also kind of use that as a mental thing, where if I'm feeling pain, I won't show it. And I think little things like that, when I'm in trouble in the arena, in the ring, that naturally triggers in my mind to go into that mental strength of, no, that didn't hurt, no, I can do this, I can move on, and so on. And okay, I'm okay, you know what I mean? So I think, like I said earlier, you know, martial arts is my life, and so little things that I do in life that has got nothing to do with being in the ring or in training, I mentally challenge myself to be stronger, and part of that comes obviously comes from the game, but when I'm in there, and without having to think about it, it naturally just applies to that particular situation at that point in time. I mean, for me, everything in life is about challenges, about, you know, moving on and being better, and challenging yourself mentally. And so little things outside of the ring will naturally, you know, I will naturally bring that into the training or to the ring, because, you know, I've mentally trained myself to do that naturally. So then when the time comes that it needs to be applied, I think then it automatically switches over.
I don't think it necessarily has to happen at a young age. It helps to happen at a young age because you grow up. I think you grow up having a certain theory of mental toughness, and that is basically to push your body to a level that it's never been before, and then when you get to that level, push it even more. You know, break down the barriers of you know, what you came to before, get to that level, and then break down that barrier and go even further. And it's with everything. It's, you know, your conditioning, your stand-up, your jits, your everything. So, yeah, I mean, I think you can train that for sure.
Everybody has this barrier. I learned that in wrestling. You could break people. Something Gray and I share in wrestling is we were guys that our style was very physical and very aggressive, and try to set a pace physically that not a lot of guys could keep. And at some point, you're willing to go further than they can go, and they break. And you can almost feel it. You can hear it when somebody breaks. When I fought Vitor Belfort the first time, he broke. It wasn't that I knocked him out. I hit him with a bunch of punches, but I didn't like hit him and knock him out. And I've never, in any fight that I've ever been in, knocked anybody out. Tim Sylvia knocking him down in the first 10 seconds of the fight, that's the closest I've ever come to a knockout. But I broke lots of guys. Just pushed them harder. In some ways, Gonzaga broke. You know, there was I think I was mentally tougher. I pushed him, made him work harder than he wanted to work, or he thought he was going to have to work to win that fight. And he broke. And so I'm not sure. I think through the training process and learning that about myself, you know, I had coaches that pushed me, that put me in certain situations, had a bunch of guys coming in on me. Well, they were fresh, and I had to recover and survive. And you know, the first time you get to that point where you're just so tired you can't go anymore, and then the next week they make you do it again, And you learn, well, I only made it 9 minutes last time. Now this time I made it 12 minutes. And the next time I made it 16 minutes. Our Greco coaches would come in on certain days and say, okay, it's a grind match today. 90 minutes, find your partner. And they started the clock, and you went 90 minutes straight. One match, one guy, no breaks, no rest, no water, no nothing. Straight. A grind match. I would see guys break all the time. They would actually start crying. Guys would hit that wall where they just couldn't go anymore, and their partner was still had energy, was still going, was being, and they would break. They would actually start crying on the mat because they wanted to go more, but they just couldn't go more. So I think that comes from training. You learn to push that barrier back and persevere and push through that, and come back and do it again. I think that's where the guy that can experience that, find that barrier where he just can't go anymore, but then is willing to come back and go again the next week or the next time you're called on by a coach or somebody to do that. That creates a mental toughness. I know I learned it in wrestling.
I mean, the reason why I say that it helps at a young age, I mean, I don't think that a guy that's 22 per se can't learn to be mentally tough. I'm sure that he starts off with a certain level of mental toughness, but to train that, to put himself in a different bracket of mental toughness, I think that he can train that for sure. I think that's something you push yourself, you push your body in so many different ways, whether it be in whatever, stand-up, jits, wrestling, whatever. You push your body to a level of where it was ready to give up before, and once you get to that level, you push even more and break through that barrier. That's my theory on mental toughness.
I think the mental toughness that I developed is through training and through wrestling, the sport of wrestling. Again, I think I had coaches that put me in situations. I was in a lot of high-level matches that were pressure cookers in front of a lot of people where a lot of things were riding, whether it be making the team or winning the tournament or winning the medal, or getting a chance to advance in the round or going home. I mean, that's basically what was on the line. It was never a lot about financial reward. Wrestling was one of those sports where we didn't get a lot of that. So it wasn't really about money, but it was about achieving that goal you had set. You trained hard to win that tournament. You had to wrestle 4, 5, 6 times to win. You let down on one of those matches and you lose, and you're out. You can't win. You're done. It's a lot of pressure. No margin for error. And I think through the training process and getting ready for those matches and getting ready for those tournaments, the national and the international level, you learn mental toughness. I think having coaches that pushed me, did shark bait drills and fresh guys rotating in on me and basically try to find out where your breaking point was. Try to push you as far as they could push you. And I think through that process I knew the guys I was going to face in that tournament were doing that, and they weren't going to be able to go as far as I go. They hadn't done those things. At least that's what I believed. And that created a confidence and I think a mental toughness that I could step onto that mat or step into that cage, set a pace and intensity that none other guys were going to be able to match.
When he touches my head to the floor, I have no.
You're gonna pass out.
Yeah, I have to tap. Even when my head's up a little bit, he puts so much pressure on the back of my head. If he just scoots that hip out, I go every time. Can't stop it.
No, not me. You can't make me stop. I won't stop. You can't make me stop. I won't stop. I'm the champ.
So ready, man. We train so hard. Nobody gonna stop us.
That's it. You know, being a fighter, you have to believe. You have to believe you know how to do this. That's what makes it easy. It makes it easy. You gotta trick the mind. Knockouts come unexpected, or you can trick the mind. Trick the mind ain't doing nothing but setting the guy up. You set him up. Say, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jab him to the body. Bam. I'm gonna jab him to the body. Bam. I tell you, I'm gonna jab you to the body. I ain't go to the body. The dude like this. I said, bam! He never expected, because he was thinking about how he gonna get hit with the body shot. So you have to trick the mind. That's how knockouts come. That's what boxing is. You see guys, they say, okay, well the guy he throw a jab all the time. All right. Guy throw a jab all the time. Your job is to figure out how to take the jab from him. How to take, okay, you do a jab all the time, so you do a jab, I'm gonna step over here and boom. I'm gonna step over here and I'm gonna pull back. I have to throw the jab, boom, boom. Or I pull the jab down, boom, boom, boom. See, he don't know what I'm thinking. He don't really know what I know. But that's how knockouts come. Knockouts come because they're unexpected.
Using feints, using techniques that you can use to throw your opponent off. You know, you say you got your opponent and he has his hands up in a certain way. You know, you can throw a feint or a fake to see what he's going to do, to see what his reaction is, which kind of should give you some information for your next technique or next punch. When you throw a feint or a fake, it's not just to throw it randomly for the heck of it to look cool. It's because you're trying to see what he's going to do when you do that position. That should give you intel for your next technique you're going to throw, or when you're planning on throwing in the future. So I'd say that you want to do things like feint, you want to do things like fake, you want to you know, put your hand out there, jab your hand out a little bit, see his distance, check that you're timing up, see what kind of reactions he does to certain techniques that you do, so that you know if I do that again, I'm going to catch him with a certain technique. You know, if I know that if I throw a leg kick that I see your hands drop, that means a lot to me. You go, okay, his hands drop when I throw that leg kick, not just to defend, but he actually drops his hands. So this next time I'll throw maybe another leg kick, make sure he does it, and the third time I'll fake it there and come up top with it, and his hands are still down from the low leg hit, and he gets hit in the head and gets hopefully knocked out. So basically, it's just being creative, you know, with your ranges, with your feinting, with your movement, so you're not predictable.
A knockout is maybe to the body is like a knockout to the body is a knockout you can force, you know, but to the head is like playing, and it's coming out, you know. You cannot not force a knockout. Then you make mistakes. You're like a bit too tight. Now, to the body you can force a knockout, like fake, whang, or the low kick, you know, fake, step to left and kick the right low kick, whang, so you can knock out somebody, or maybe a kick, you know, a high kick. But the boxing, you know, you have to time and do it like with the flow. Just playing and knockout will come automatically. And it looks like you get a kick, like a kick. So you look like this, and you block it, but bang, and it's going right in his gut. If this movement is too difficult, just step a little bit back and just make it straight. It looks like if I make this movement look like a kick again, but instead I make it higher, make punch. Oh man, this knockout, total knockout. Yeah. Just make a turn.